right.
Nobody doesn't like Jim Donovan.
And here we go, everyone. It's the Donovan Live Postgame Show, post-All-Star Game edition. We welcome everybody aboard here on Facebook Live and YouTube.
The game just ended.
The game just ended. It was the longest ever. It feels like a marathon the last 5 days or so. Jim Donovan, yours truly, Dave DeNatale with you. And Jimmy, what a terrific experience. As now you can kind of look back on things a little bit with a wider lens. We've had some time to, kind of digest the way last night went and the way this whole weekend went. The first thing that came to my mind last night was just what a great job, again, by the city of Cleveland, the Indians, the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, and Major League Baseball in putting together not just the All-Star game, but the entire All-Star experience from Play Ball Park to Futures game, softball game, home run derby, and, of course, the game itself.
I concur across the board. They just did a fantastic job. There was a time where people didn't give us a look.
Right.
Never mind a second look. They just didn't give us even a first look to consider bringing anything here. I mean, really. I mean, there was a time where, people would say, well, why would you ever do that? And it's such a different experience. And when I've gone to these events, like an All-Star game, or a World Series or anything like that in that kind of regard, and you go to it in another city, there's a different feeling here because people here really care about you having a good time if you're coming into town. I mean, it's really on their soul to say, you are having a good time, aren't you?
Right.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. Good, because you're really into this.
I did that at Play Ball Park. I was out there when I was out there Monday, my last day I was out there. More people from out of town were starting to come in, and you can see because they're wearing, it was Mets. It was a couple of Mets fans, and I said, hey, you guys.
Incidentally, that's all the Mets have. It's just that both of them were here. That was it.
Those two and Mr. Met. That's all they've got. But
I like Mr. Met.
But I asked them. I said, hey, you folks from out of town? Yeah, we're just from outside of Long Island, and we just are here and we love it and having a great time. And it is that because we realize these don't happen all the time. Although, as you pointed out tonight on Donovan Live, these types of events are happening more because of. I really do think it started with the RNC and the way and the way that worked out so successfully and the way Cleveland presented itself. David Gilbert's job, I think, got a little bit easier when it came to kind of going for these other events. And, I mean, we've got a big one now every year for the next 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. In regards to, for instance, the NCAA basketball tournaments that we've had here, those have always been a rousing success. When we've had regional action here. And that started at Cleveland State. That started over at the Convocation Center. I can remember, Michigan State, Kentucky, St. Bonaventure, Utah, with Rick Majerus as their head coach, and Syracuse was over there. And it was a huge success because we were so happy to have it that that's when this feeling of, hey, listen, we want you to have a good time when you come here, and we're really going to go out of our way to do it. I mean, if you go to Boston or New York and there's a big event, I mean, there's, the bigness of the event is it's almost like you're lucky to be there.
Right.
We really roll out literally the red carpet like we did for the parade yesterday, and but it's really heartfelt. And I don't know if that's Midwestern, hospitality or just Cleveland hospitality.
I don't know.
I think it might be even more specific to Cleveland hospitality. And boy, the reputation here, if you didn't have a good time here, then it's all on you.
Yeah, it's on you.
It's
Absolutely.
on you. I mean, it really is. And so you're right. I mean, the RNC was a massive test. It really was. But as I pointed out on the show tonight, the really great big events are the ones that you earn because your team has won, because it's all you. I mean, yeah, you can have Mets fans, and a couple of years ago you had Cubs fans here, and you'll have Steeler fans come when the Browns play the Steelers. But the fact of the matter is it's your event because your team earned its way there. Those are electric.
Yeah.
They're charged.
And we've seen it. We saw it with the World
last
Series.
night was polite.
Yeah, exactly.
Polite, right.
But you add, Major League Baseball playoffs, and certainly we saw that with the World Series just 3 years ago. The NBA Finals here. Just wait when there's a playoff game at First Energy Stadium with your Cleveland Browns. Then it takes on a whole new universe.
Oh, it will. It really will. And it's the second line to when people talk about these big events. They'll say, "Hey, this is great, isn't it?" Here comes the second line. Can you imagine what it'll be like if the Browns make it to the playoffs?
Just wait for this.
It really is the second line. It will become the first line, I think, pretty soon.
Yeah.
This is great because the Browns are here. Last night, I thought the moments were better than the game.
I completely agree.
Okay? So I'm going to go through some of them for you, all right, and see if you agree. We booed all the Astros because they eliminated the Indians, okay? But we didn't boo Michael Brantley.
No,
Because Michael Brantley is loved here. And Michael Brantley loves Cleveland.
Yes.
He really did. I pointed to the All-Star logo on his cap when he came out. He's heartbroken over Carlos Carrasco and the diagnosis of leukemia. He stays in touch with him. He's forever an Indian.
Yes.
He really is. He's forever an Indian. The Yankees get booed everywhere.
Yeah.
Even in New York sometimes, but definitely on the road. They get booed everywhere. They're the Yankees, okay? They're the damn Yankees, okay? But we didn't boo CC Sabathia.
No, we were nice to CC.
He's one of us.
That's right. We were nice to
he's
CC.
our guy. And the moment, of course, with Carrasco and his teammates and Terry Francona standing up to cancer with his name on the placard that they all held was, that's an incredible moment. And I just think so. I think the moments and Bieber, winning the MVP and having the 3 up, 3 down, all strikeouts in that inning. Those are great moments.
Yeah.
But the game, the game is the game.
The game was fine. The game was fine, and it's why people sometimes will if you give them All-Star Game tickets or Home Run Derby tickets. Sometimes they'll take the Home Run Derby. Bud Shaw and I talked about this a lot over the weekend. Some fans prefer just the spectacle of the Home Run Derby and the fact that you're gonna see 500 balls leave the ballpark.
Well, to be exact, 312.
312. You're gonna see a massive display, and what we saw from Alonso, certainly from Guerrero, and the drama and everything. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was great. I have to tell you, it was very different back in '97 when the All-Star Game was here. The Home Run Derby was actually held in the afternoon. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was tape delayed to be played on ESPN. There was no MLB Network at the time. It was tape delayed and played on ESPN that night. But Tino Martinez won it, and the score on the final was very low.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was really something. Yeah. I really enjoyed that, and I just couldn't stop watching it because it was amazing. The physical exertion those guys would go through to win that thing. Now, $1 million hanging out there. That can
that's a
make
nice
it.
incentive.
You can mop your brow with the sweat that's coming down. But that was a fun night. That was more fun than the game too.
Yeah, I agree. Kathy said Michael Brantley is awesome. I'm sorry he's no longer on the team, but glad to hear Cleveland fans cheering for him. And I loved his RBI double.
Is a Michael Brantley?
That couldn't have been more a Michael Brantley special.
Yeah.
Opposite field, shooting right through the gap. It
off
was
a
beautiful.
lefty.
Off a lefty.
And not just a lefty, Clayton Kershaw.
Right.
That's a Michael Brantley. That's vintage Michael Brantley.
Yep.
That's what he did 1 million times here.
Yeah. That was great. And because he had said Monday that he was concerned. He didn't know what kind of reception he was going to get, and it's like everybody here understood that it was not his decision to not re-sign here so much as it was the Indians.
It's the economics.
Not
of
offering. It was an economic decision, and fans appreciate loyalty that a player like Michael Brantley always had, and they appreciate the fact that for those couple of years where he was hurt, he worked his tail off to get back and to get back in the lineup, and that inspires people, especially in a town like Cleveland.
Yeah, you're right. And on a couple of other fronts, CC Sabathia said that the day he found out he was traded from the Indians to the Milwaukee Brewers, because the Indians they were sellers at that time. They were going to break that team up and kind of collect assets, and Sabathia certainly netted them some. Yeah. He broke down crying. Victor Martinez, if you remember, when he got traded that day, from the Indians to the Red Sox, and the Indians were breaking it up, and they were going to trade away people at that time, and that was the Sabathia time too, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't even talk.
Yeah.
He was so broken up about it.
Because he had
Carlos
been an Indian.
Santana,
Those guys have been Indians forever.
yeah,
That's all they knew.
I heard Tom Hamilton say this on the radio when he was with Marty Brenneman. They did an inning together when the Reds, it was vintage radio.
Yeah.
And he said that, Brenneman was saying, boy, I bet you're glad to have Santana back. And Tom said, Marty, Santana, he really missed Cleveland. He never even sold his house here.
That's that's absolutely right.
So I think I think there's a family atmosphere here. I think Francona's a big part of that. I mean, I really do. I think Francona, there was a great shot last night of when Bieber got the strikeouts, and Francona was cheering like he was a dad.
Yes,
the only thing he didn't have was his phone up recording it like a dad would, but he was like a dad because they're so proud of of Shane Bieber and what he's done. I mean, he has really bailed them out.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a great pitcher.
And it was, the first day we were at Play Ball Park was out on Friday, and it was we were on right as the Bieber announcement that he was going into the All-Star game came out. And I remember saying to Matt Florjancic at the time, and we had, a bunch of guests, like Carlos Baerga was with us, we were talking about it, that, Bieber really, along with Mercado, really helped to save the first half of the season from spiraling out of control. Mercado really helped to put a jolt into the offense, and Bieber saved that starting rotation that was just decimated with injuries and inconsistency. And lo and behold, here we are now. The Indians are going to start the second half really with a legitimate shot to get back to the playoffs for the fourth year in a row.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's I watched him pitch last Saturday in Cincinnati in that heat down there, and he was unbelievable. Yeah. He was amazing. Yeah. He just you just knew if they get him the lead, this thing's over.
Yep.
And they got him the lead, and the thing was over.
Yep.
There was Yasiel Puig got him for a home run, but that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. He dominated. He had innings where he just coasted.
Yeah.
He is just really. He's an elite. He's top of the rotation guy now.
Yeah.
He really is. Imagine how just a couple of years ago he's down in Eastlake.
Right.
He's pitching down there.
He's pitching, for the captains.
Yeah.
And then, everybody kind of, I think, for the Indians, I'm sure, had a big sigh of relief at the end of that Kansas City series last week that Mike Clevenger pitched as well as he did. 6 scoreless innings, only gave up 4 hits, and looked like the Mike Clevenger that we had seen last year and before the injuries this year. And it's like, boy, and all of a sudden, you get Clevenger back. Bauer certainly has looked better. I do think Trevor was pitching and was not 100% in the month of May and maybe in early June. But he looks a lot better, now going into the break. And all of a sudden now this Indians rotation has a much different look to it than it did when we were wondering at Memorial Day if the Indians were going to be sellers by now.
Yeah, well, they're 11 and a half games out. It was one of the biggest leads. If not the biggest lead at some point in Major League Baseball at the time that the Twins had over them. So they have them. I think this weekend is interesting on so many levels. The fact that they won 6 in a row going into the All-Star break. Are they going to come out the same way? Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do. You keep it rolling. This will dictate, I think, what they're going to do as far as the trading deadline comes. Now, remember, this is a new year in that there are no August trades or no September-type waiver deals. This is it. There's a hard deadline. Yep. You have to make the deals. You can make them now, or you can make them right on the deadline, but there's no, we didn't get that, we'll go in another week.
Yeah, you've got 21 days.
Yeah, no, this is it. Exactly. You've got 3 weeks. And, they keep saying that this weekend will tell them what they're going to do. If they get close, then they have to stay in it. They have to stay in it, or they would just be ostracized.
Yeah.
My goodness. If they don't get close, if they have a bad weekend against Minnesota, it's not like Minnesota's playing poorly, that they lost the lead. It's just that the Indians did what the Indians had to do. They feasted on the Tigers, the Royals. They didn't get it done against the Orioles, but you can even go back. They took advantage of the Yankees being decimated. They took 2 out of 3 in that series. They went to Boston. They won that series over the Red Sox. The Red Sox were having all kinds of bullpen trouble. in that series at that particular time, and you got to beat the bums.
That's right.
You got to beat the bums. Now that's not the case this weekend.
No.
This is a big series.
Yeah, you've got 13 games with the Twins starting on Friday night. So hopefully Progressive Field, that energy that we saw the last couple of days continues to carry over. Last thought about Carlos Carrasco, because when we first heard about it, I know talking to you, and the Indians have been like, well, we'd heard there was a blood disorder being looked at with Carlos, and we kind of talked about things off air, and I mean, anything with blood disorder, leukemia, strikes you right in the heart, strikes at all of us.
Yeah.
But
I'm no hematologist, but I know blood disorders.
Yes,
when the facts were dribbling out about a blood disorder, sluggish feeling, I said to you, I think he has what I have.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he does. He's been given, I understand, a pretty good prognosis.
Yeah.
But it is a long road.
Yeah.
And I can testify to that. And there are a lot of twists and turns in the road. So it's going to be, I mean, it's a journey. It really is. It really is. I don't know the particular type of leukemia he has. It sounds like the type that I had. He's going to speak tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're having a workout pre-Minnesota Twins series to get themselves kind of back into the flow. He's going to be available. He's going to talk about his situation. It will be interesting to hear.
Yeah, I just thought
I would love to talk to him. Not for broadcast or anything like that, but because I tell you, Dino, I did not talk to people about it. I mean, a lot of people didn't know that I had it for a long time before I really had to go public with it, because it was at a point where I really needed a severe form, a very drastic form of treatment, that being a bone marrow transplant. Not to say that he does or anything like that, but my point is, I didn't ask a lot of questions because I was trying to keep everything inside. Not a wise thing to do.
Yeah.
The more information you get, and if I could walk that back, I would say, boy, when they would tell me, hey, listen, there are some patients that have had this that would be willing to talk to you, I should have picked up the phone and talked to them to know what I was dealing with.
Right, just to get that perspective.
Right.
But at the time, we all want to internalize things, and your reaction, I think, is probably the way most people would be in that situation. But it hit close to home when I had heard that it was leukemia, and knowing everything that you have been through with it, and I was just so pleased that he was able to be there last night. So pleased to see his teammates and his manager with him, and it was like that one moment was a collective hug from Indians fans, from baseball fans, everywhere to Carlos, and it just that was something that I just kind of walked down like, wow, and it's one of the things that I think baseball gets right that maybe some other sports don't always get right. They've had that moment, and it was beautiful.
It was. I understand the moment when Carlos revealed in the clubhouse to his Indians teammates a couple of weeks ago what the situation was. That was at the point where they announced that he was going to step away from baseball because of a blood disorder. And he had gone into the clubhouse, and the Indians players were there, coaches were there. I understand that was pretty emotional.
Yeah.
That was a very emotional moment for them.
It goes back to Terry Francona, and I think, talking to people all over the from all over Major League Baseball over the weekend, and I think Cliff Floyd had the best analogy I heard about, I was asking him about playing for Jim Leland and covering Terry Francona, and he said, managers are like flight attendants. He said, when they're just serving you drinks and it's all calm on the plane, life is good and everybody has a great ride. When they're flailing their arms because everything's out of control, it's a bumpy ride and everybody hates it. And he goes, with Terry Francona, he always finds a way to make it a smooth ride and a smooth experience for players. And I'm not surprised hearing that, because it's a close. A lot of these guys have come up together during this run of the past 6 years since Terry's been here, 7 seasons now. It's a close team.
Yeah, and I think Terry unfortunately had some experience with this. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm trying to match it up. When John Lester was diagnosed with cancer as a
exactly
member of the
right.
Red Sox.
Yes.
I think Terry Francona was the manager of the Red Sox, wasn't he?
I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, and so, I mean, you know, you don't want to have these experiences, but listen, cancer hits everybody as far as whether it's your family, whether it's you, whether it's somebody in your extended family, whether it's a neighbor. I mean, unfortunately, it hits a lot of people's lives. And so Terry has some experience.
Yep.
And experience in that kind of thing is really important, I think. He's done a great job again.
Yes, he has.
He's done a great job, not just in this, but keeping this team together. And I think that's a perfect way to describe it. I mean, the water is choppy, and it was very choppy around the Indians.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, they weren't hitting. I mean, Kluber's got a broken arm. Clevenger's got a bad back or a shoulder. You know, Carrasco is not feeling like himself. Bauer's all over the place.
Yep.
You know, and they got through it.
Yep.
And maybe they're through it right now.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a long season, and it's a lot of fun. But bravo again to everybody involved with the All-Star Game, to the people of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio for making it great. And I'm going to close with this post from Scott Markle, because I'm going to do it. I stand for Jim Donovan.
Oh, thank you.
That's from Scott, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
Jimmy, always a pleasure, my man. Good to be back here after
Yeah.
after vacations and all-star breaks and things like that. We'll see everybody back here tomorrow. For Jimmy Donovan, I'm Dave DeNatale. Thanks for watching the Donovan Live Postgame Show on WKYC's Facebook Live. Okay.
All right, good job. Thank you.
right.